How do you go about self development and growth?
Well, as human beings, what we are is information. So what we have to ask ourselves is how are we going to collect all that information? Now, there's a lot of tools out there like reading, right? And reading is amazing. And reading is going to give you a lot of information. But then we have to ask ourselves, whatever we're reading, is this true? Is this the right facts? Is this the right beliefs? Because not only are we information, we are also our beliefs. Whatever it is we believe. So then the next step after you start reading is you need to actually go apply the information we learn. So we have to ask ourselves, how are we going to use this information and when are we going to use this information? And then once we use it, once we actually go into experience that information in real time, then we have to use our awareness and we have to reflect. Ask ourselves, was this helpful? Did it work? And if it didn't work, did it not work because I didn't execute correctly? Or was it because the information itself isn't good? And then I have to ask myself, what other information did I grab that it was believable from different sources that came to the same conclusion? And then also what information that was contradictory? Because at the same time, we're not just going to grab anything. And then once I reflect on that, I need to write that down. We only have so many neurons in our minds. We're not going to remember everything. But what happens when we build a journal of insights of our experiences and we have things to compare to? Because what information is good today doesn't mean that it's going to be good tomorrow. Because change is inevitable in life. But growth, that's optional. Who I was yesterday is not who I am today, and who I am today is not who I'm going to be tomorrow. Because I self-develop and grow every day. And then what happens when we constantly repeat all this knowledge and insights that we actually gather, which then turns into wisdom? Then it becomes unconscious competence. And just to give you guys an understanding of what unconscious competence means, is that I don't even have to think about it, and I'm going to perform well. Do you see how important that is? But in order to reach unconscious competence, you first have to consciously become competent, which means you have to practice that skill. Then you have to become good at that skill. You have to consciously always look to get better until it becomes second nature. And what happens when you constantly are achieving new skills? And now we built a list of skills that we're good at. How competent are we as a human being? And if we're competent, then that means that we have a strong character. Because a strong character is that comes from confidence. And then what about trust? Then you trust yourself because you know the work you put in. You've earned it. And then what happens when you start using all these skills in real time, in life, in whatever your avocation is? Avocation meaning what you do for a living. And then imagine if you become so good in your avocation that whatever your vocation is, whatever it is that you really love to do, you're able to create something with it and then work doing what you love. That's when people talk about passion turning into purpose. What are the possibilities? Are endless. So in order to get what you want in life, you have to self-develop. You have to grow. Because you don't get what you want. You get what you are. Who you are. You attract it. And where are we going to grow these skills? If I want to do this and I want to accomplish that, chances are I've never done it. So I can't go from thought because thought is an opinion. I have to develop my knowing. But the only way to develop my knowing, I have to go do and jump into the unknown. Into what I don't know until I know it. But we all get that feeling. And a lot of us, when we relate to that feeling, it's a fear and anxiety. But that same feeling could be excitement and confidence. It could be a thrill. What would happen if we were to change our perspective about growth? What would happen if we would learn to enjoy our challenges? Our philosophy at Gift Fitness, easy, correct, and enjoyable. Because we do what's hard and it feels hard until it feels easy. We understand that everything in this world, as long as we put practice to it, as long as we put repetition to it, becomes easy. And we develop that self-awareness through the weights. Then from the weights, we give out books. Because it's not just physical awareness that's born, then mental awareness. Then through the conversations, emotional awareness develops. Because through our environment and the quality of our people, which is good human energy, a lot of people are surprised at how kind, compassionate, empathetic, loving, stoic, intellectuals our members are. Because we train and educate, but in the whole life experience. And then energetic fitness. It's the ultimate joy to give when we're doing things for others. What we love to do is to model what human excellence is, and human excellence is giving. Whether you're giving your time, whether you're giving a donation, whether you're sharing your vocation, whether you're teaching, whether you stop to point someone in the right direction, whether the supermarket, whether you go and you console someone, maybe going through a breakup. Because we've all have wisdom and insights. We've all lived a lot. Now it's just about sharing. But you cannot do that without growth. And the ultimate skill you need to develop growth is awareness. You need to self-observe every day. And you need to earn every day. And have that understanding that it's a lifelong process of learning. But how awesome is that? Life never gets boring. It's always discovery. Something new in your life is always being born. And what happens when every single day is an adventure of learning? Living in your awareness. You should find out.